Hey guys, welcome back to the fourth episode of the Let's Talk About series, and it's someone who I've spoke about before that I'd like to talk about today, and that is Luis Suarez and the bid that Arsenal have made, apparently, of £30 million for him. And on your screens, you are currently seeing Game 7 and then Game 8 of the Division 2 campaign. So these are actually the final two games. So you can imagine that maybe the cup will be lifted, the championship trophy will be lifted, and then the next Let's Talk About episode will be based in Div 1 and with a new campaign underway. So, as reported by most of the media outlets over the past week or so, Arsenal have apparently bid 30 million for Suarez. Now, this could be seen as one of two things by Arsenal. They either really want Suarez, value him very highly as a player, want to make Liverpool weaker to nullify any threat of challenging for fourth, and really want to push on to try and win the league, or at least challenge for the league instead of just challenging for fourth place. Now, the other alternative is that they're fed up with Real Madrid hanging around with the Higuain deal. Now that Carlo Ancelotti has been appointed manager there at Real Madrid, it seems apparent that Ancelotti doesn't want to let Higuain go. So, with the stalling of Real Madrid with Higuain, it could be that Arsenal want to hurry them up by launching this apparent bid for Suarez, because as most people will know, and as I talked about in the previous Suarez video, Real Madrid are they're they're probably the most likely to be able to bid the amount Liverpool want, and also a club that Suarez would want to go to. I think Liverpool fans would find it very annoying if Suarez was to say try and force for a move to another English club after what he's been saying about how he doesn't like the English press and how they've been unfair to him and how he wanted to leave England. So to end up at Arsenal or Chelsea are the two teams mainly being mentioned. I imagine Man City will eventually be mentioned as well as a club that Suarez could sign for. It would be very annoying. To me as a Liverpool fan, I'd be pretty pissed off if he did try and force for a move to another English club. Um, if, say, we couldn't strike a deal with Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich, for example, then I would like to think that Suarez would stay. The club stood behind him fully throughout all the all the trouble he's caused, basically, since arriving at the club. So it would be nice for someone in football, for a change, to actually show a bit of loyalty and respect to the club that's backed them. It is quite interesting, though, that other clubs in England are willing to take a risk on Suarez. It obviously shows how much he's valued as a player, maybe not as a person, for the stupid things he does on and off the pitch. Well, more on the pitch actually than off the pitch. Um, so Arsenal bidding 30 million. It's obviously a massive an underbid. You'd think that if Liverpool were to sell Suarez to someone in this country, it would be because the bid was a lot more than, say, a bid from Real Madrid. So if Real Madrid bid 40 and Liverpool were willing to accept that, then another club in England would, say, have to bid 45 to 50 to really make it worth the while of the club to actually sell him to a rival, basically. Now, with Suarez still not handing in a transfer request, it doesn't really force Liverpool's hand too much at the moment. I believe he's back in the country very shortly. He was having a holiday, I'm not sure where, I believe it was in Uruguay after the Confederations Cup. So he's expected back in training very shortly. Now, if he were to hand in a transfer request as soon as he got back, then that would be fine. What I'm very worried about is come, say, August 27th, 28th, 29th, he hands in a transfer request, very much like what Torres did in the January window, and forces Liverpool's hand. Too late. We can't maximise value from him, and we can't get a replacement in. Or we do get a replacement in, and we spend a hell of a lot of money on another Andy Carroll, who we end up having to sell for 20 million less than we actually bought him for. So that would be very annoying if Suarez did do that by having a transfer request late in the window. I'd like to think he wouldn't, but you never know nowadays. Loyalty seems to go out the window at the moment. He's a very well paid man at Liverpool. I believe he's on about 125k a week, which is absolutely perfect value for someone like him. I know if he went to Man City, he'd probably get about 200 a week, but that's ridiculous money, and it's just it's obscene, really, to have someone like Carlos Tevez who was due to get 27 million in the last 2 years of his contract through loyalty bonuses and other payments and extra fees that he was due for playing a certain amount of games and stuff like that. So guys, that rounds up everything I wanted to talk about in terms of Luis Suarez. I know this has been the second video I've done about him, and there probably will be a third when it's actually decided whether he's going to leave or go to whoever, or whether he's going to stay at Liverpool. So for the next episode, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about. I'll probably do some more about some of the transfers which have gone through in recent weeks. So until then, guys, have a good one, and I shall see you in the next Let's Talk About.